Hello and welcome back to London. The UK economy is consistently cited as the strong outperforming economy in Europe. So does that mean the Bank of England is close to a rate rise? Well, I've been to the offices of FxPro to discuss the latest BoE minutes and also the prospects of the UK economy. Let's talk about the Bank of England. Two people dissenting in the latest minutes. We seem to have generally come to terms with the fact that the UK economy is maybe not as robust as we thought 6 months ago. So why are two people still voting for a rate hike?
The rationale seems mainly to be on the labour market side. They're seeing improvement in the labour market. They're expecting that to come through to earnings in the early part of 2015. And they're looking ahead saying, well, monetary policy isn't about the here and now. It's about where we expect things to go. And naturally, there's always a spread of views on the committee. They always say that. But these members who have been dissenting since August are looking for better earnings data, for that to be kicking into place and thinking they should have just a preemptive move higher in rates at this point in time. Personally, I'm surprised that we haven't seen them shift. I was expecting at least one of them to shift today, so I'm surprised that we are still seeing two of them dissent in favour of higher rates.
Such a case as good, low inflation. I mean, there's all sorts of deflation and the risks it brings, but in this case, if it's low, if it's the lack of energy costs, is it good?
I mean, yes, I think Carney pointed it out this week, that less of your spending is going on that element in terms of fuel and also the fuel-related costs, in terms of food, etc. So you have more disposable income elsewhere. So that, from the consumer spending side, can be good. It's probably going to be more of an impact in the US, as I said, where the fall is likely to be higher in terms of the costs and motoring costs, etc. So that's more thing, but you always have this trade-off in these situations. It's the same when we have higher fuel prices as well. So we've had the Bank of England say we need to look through this, and I think they're saying that the hawks are still saying the same. We might be seeing headline inflation fall, but it's volatile and it could easily just come back into those fuel prices. So we have to sort of look through this. So it is a positive in terms of the spending side and frees up more disposable income. But at the same time, if you see inflation too low for too long, well, we're seeing that in inflation expectations, especially in the US, where they're about a 4.5-year low on the Fed's favoured measure, and people can think, well, as you've seen in Japan, should I buy something now? Well, maybe not. I'm going to buy, in 12 months' time because I think the price is going to go down. So
to finish our UK chat, what's the sterling trade going forward in 2015?
I think sterling is, for a lot of them, it's not going to be the sort of no-brainers. After we went 2015, I'll buy the dollar, sell everything else, great. For sterling, it's going to be more difficult. I think it will, in general, outperform against the euro, but not massively so. Against the US dollar on cable, I think near term, we could see some further modest upside, but in the bigger picture, I still see cable moving further below the 150 area towards the latter end of the year.
And just a quick side question, leading up to the election, will we see a sell-off in sterling? I know traditionally
yes,
we're meant to, but...
Yes, traditionally. I think this time you can't. I would be surprised if we don't, just because of the uncertainty. We saw that ahead of the Scottish referendum, where investors weren't necessarily looking at it until they were staring in the face. Actually, this is a political risk, and it's the same with the election. We know, there are a lot of combinations in terms of potential governments. It looks a stretch to see one party gain overall control in Westminster. From that angle, the uncertainty that could well prevail afterwards is going to, potentially make for sort of a period of uncertainty going forward for sterling around that time.
Well, as always, stay tuned to Duke's Copy TV for more interviews, but from London, goodbye for now.